Hey, fourth grade, here we go with chapter 5. Here's the picture. Okay, in the yard, Tende had an engine running. As soon as Martine climbed in the Jeep, he put his foot on the accelerator and they bounded over the pothole drive onto the main road. Heat wavered like a watery image above the pavement. Tende seemed agitated. I'm sorry, Miss Martine, I shouldn't have taken you there. Perhaps you'd be kind enough not to mention it to your grandmother? Martine barely heard him. Her forehead was still tingling from the pressure of Grace's hand, and her mind was rushing like an express train through her past. She was trying to remember something, well, anything that would explain what had just happened. But what did Grace mean about my mom? Did she live in Sumbanwa? Please, begged Tende, those things you must ask your grandmother. He drove on in silence for a few minutes before turning right onto a sandy road lined with high wire fence. Arching over the entrance and supported by two white pillars was a black wooden sign etched with the words, Sumbuana Game Reserve. The jeep stopped and Tende pointed out the window. Can you see the buffalo? Martine dragged herself reluctantly back to the present. She squinted into the sun but could see nothing except an endless expanse of trees, dusty shrubs, and grass sprawled under an electric blue sky. On the horizon was a range of mauve mountains. A black eagle circled lazily overhead. No, she said, I can't. Don't look through the bush, instructed Tende. Look into the bush. Martine did, and gradually the shrubs resolved themselves into muscular black hides of about 30 buffalo. She could make out their curved horns and intense faces between the trees. Then she spotted the bull elephant. He was standing under an umbrella tree, his curved tusks and gray bulk almost completely camouflaged. Like the buffalo, he seemed as ancient as the land itself, but even from 300 yards away, his deadly power was apparent. Now remember, those are a different kind of buffalo. They're not like buffalo, what we have in the United States. Martine stared at him in awe. She was beginning to feel overwhelmed by all she had seen and heard since leaving the airport. Wow, she said at last. He's so huge and so still. I've only seen wild animals on television. What else do you have here? 12 other elephants, Tende recited proudly, 8 ostriches, 150 springboks, 10 wildebeests, 18 kudus, 20 zebras, 6 lions, 4 leopards, 7 warthogs, and a couple troops of baboons, a few waterbucks, and that's all. And what? You were going to say something else. It's nothing, Tende said. The local tribes believe that a white giraffe has come to this area. The Africans have a legend which says that the child who can ride a white giraffe will have the power over all the animals, but it's only a myth. We have no giraffes, not even ordinary giraffes at Sumbuana for nearly 2 years now, but people keep coming to me to report that they've seen this white one. The tribesmen said that it's an albino giraffe as white as a snow leopard. If it's true, that would make it one of the rarest animals in the world. There is no proof. I have never seen it, and I am in the game reserve every day. Martine had an odd feeling of deja vu, almost as if she'd had this conversation in another life. But do you believe it exists? She asked eagerly. Tende shrugged. From time to time I've seen tracks, but they still always disappear. I followed them for a few hundred yards, and they just vanish into thin air. Well, so maybe it's true? The Zulu laughed. It's not always the one you follow who makes the tracks, little one. In the old times, some tribes would tie the hooves of the animals to their feet to lead hunters away from the herds. And your grandmother says that in the mountains of Asia, people tried to fake the footprints of the abominable snowman. Maybe this is what's happening here. He grinned at Martine. If the white giraffe does exist, he said, it must be very shy. The gears clanked and they moved along down the road. When they reached a high iron gate, Tende jumped out to open it. On the other side was a driveway lined with a huge red and orange flowers, an immaculate lawn, and a white painted thatched house. Nerves bit into Martine's stomach. In a few minutes she would meet the grandmother for the first time. Would Gwen Thomas be glad to see her? Would she be kind? Would she, even though she hadn't really wanted her, learn to like Martine? And what if she didn't? What then? And that is the end of chapter 5.